So the first thing I want to say is I don't think there's anything wrong or hypocritical with a leftist being wealthy or even being a business owner or anything to that effect. I think that leftism is a moral principle, and that the way things are distributed in this world, we have to recognize that being in possession of wealth or being in possession of the means of production, if you're a business owner, gives you a relative position of prominence that you as a leftist can use to better other people. Engels was, after all, Marx's a company, and Engels owned a factory. And I can't tell you how much good would be done in this world if every city had a couple of prominent leftist millionaires who would be paying bails for protesters, who would be providing medical care for people hurt, or providing relief or shelter for homeless folk or any of that crap. And you can't do that if you're living as some ascetic monk. So I don't have a problem with lefties being wealthy. I'm wealthy. What I hope to do with my excess money is eventually start a PAC. Now, for one person to do that on their own, I would definitely need. I have some legal consult. We're nowhere near that point yet. I'm only about a year and a half into this, but what I'd like to do is start a PAC. I've seen how much even a relatively small amount of money, small from a business perspective, like $500,000, can do to influence smaller elections and campaigns. Especially since
local, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a local state election. That's a lot of money.
That's what I'd like to see, because there are a lot of progressive Dems who are starting to run in purple districts in the South that look like they would have really good campaigns if they had the money. They just don't have the money. And fundraising is fucking boring. So what if I just stream and I could put so much money into that PAC I wouldn't have to pay a dime in taxes. I'm sure I could find a way to make it work, but that's what I would like to do, ideally. I do think lefties should be open about how much money they make. Generally speaking, I can understand why they don't want to. You have somebody like, say, for example, ContraPoints. ContraPoints, a lot of money on Twitter, or not Twitter, sorry, on Patreon, probably makes $200,000 a year plus ad revenue. If I'd had to take a guess at it, probably I'd guess the reason why she doesn't have it listed publicly is because if she did, there'd be a bunch of people going like, I didn't know she was rich, or something to that effect, and then you'd have to have that argument, you know.
Shouldn't we just have that argument? Like, I feel like
I agree, but other leftists don't like arguing with their audience. I love arguing with my audience. You know?
Especially ones that like might be, in vulnerable populations. I get that, but I see a lot of white college educated dude streamers that are kind of showing that same reluctance. I'm like, man, that's where we should definitely lean into that and have that conversation. And I also think it's a perfectly honest question of like, well, how much is enough? How much is enough to secure your future and your family's future? And then what are you going to do with the rest of it? Because
it's never going to be enough. I'm going to take every fucking cent I can from my audience. Okay. It's all going to a good cause. Me. I don't, I think thinking about when is it enough, I feel like it's a very self-destructive mindset to people who have certain tendencies. Some people feel guilty about having money, just stupid. I think that, like, ultimately, if money is being provided freely to you, as it is here in the YouTube game, of course, like, people donate to me for name colors on my site chat. Like, I'm clearly not holding their fucking children over their head. Yeah. And if they're willing to do that, I will never feel bad about a cent that I make. I'm honored to be the recipient of so much generosity. And I hope to one day be in a position where I can start putting money together for that kind of thing. I'm hoping by the 2022 election I'm going to be able to. That would be very nice. It's not going to be $500,000 or nothing, but it will hopefully be enough.
A start. Yeah. Is that something that's going to be an individual effort, or is there going to be a pack that like other leftist streamers could control? I guess. Yeah, that's super exciting because you're the first person to actually have asked that question, and they have actually here's my plan, and it's really cool. Yeah. So,
well, I just yesterday bought a home gym, so we've set back the pack timer by just a little bit. But I wouldn't know if I could. Here, I'll try to get Hassan into it. That Hassan is probably one of the only lefty people online who I know for a fact makes a lot more money than I do. Streamers make significantly more money than YouTubers.
Plus he's got to have the home gym taken care of.
Oh, he already got the home gym. I'm just catching up to him. With that one. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, because streamers make more money than YouTubers. Ad revenue on YouTube is shit these days.